Killer titles: The Jaws, The Shark, The Carcharodon Carcharias, or The Carcharodon. Killer: Bruce, the antagonist of the first Jaws film made in 1975. Killer cosmetics: Bruce being the default, prestiged Bruce, Brucette, the antagonist of the second Jaws film made in 1978. Killer power: underwater stealth, and the dash attack from the video game Jaws Unleashed. Killer terror radius: here's a concept made by Scary. Enjoy. Survivor: Martin Brody. Survivor cosmetics: Martin Brody being the default, prestiged Martin, Captain Quint as a legendary, Matt Huber as a legendary, Map, Amity Island Beach. Charms: here are a few charms that I immediately thought of. There is a lot like other charms you can add, but these are like the main ones that immediately popped up for me. Shark jaws, shark tooth, yellow barrels, orca boat, no swimming, beach closed sign, orca life ring, Amity Island welcomes you sign, oxygen tank, bait bucket, license plate, anchor, and of course profile pictures and banners. Here's a Jaws concept that I want to show you by thatflyguykaii. Enjoy. Here's a concept I want to show you by Trophy J0V1. Let's go over this. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna go over like everything. I'll leave the document in the description. But there's a few things that I do want to point out. In the beginning of the video, I mentioned my concepts for how I see this chapter to be like, but I didn't mention like a Mori or like, things like that because I agree with a lot of things with that fly guy Kai concept and this concept. Let's go over this. So, killer, the great white. I agree with this. Um, you can see the power aquatic domain. I can't wait. Well, I already like looked over this like so many times, but I do want to go over this power. Martin Brody as a survivor, I agree with this entirely. Matt Hooper as a survivor. With this one, they made Quint as a legendary. I feel like Quint is too like goated to just be a legendary. I don't know. You can say the same with like the Walking Dead chapter and how they brought Daryl in as a legendary, but I don't know. You can bring all three of them in as survivors, but you know, I don't think there's ever um been a chapter with three survivors. It usually is like two, but one of them is probably going to be a legendary. I don't know. So here's the perks. You can pause if you want to, or just go to the document. Yeah, you have all these great perks that this person made, and the artwork is just outstanding. Uh, we're not gonna really go into perks, like how I said. Um, but yeah, perks, power, and add-ons. This is what I want to get into. Aquatic domain, I kind of agree with it, but I don't. So the parts that I agree with is submerge, resurface. Once aquatic domain is active, the great white goes into third person, similar to the good guy, and can hold the active ability button to switch between two states, submerge and resurface. It takes 3 seconds for the great white to switch between the two states and can be cancelled by letting go before the ability bar charges fully. I agree with this. Great white underwater, the great white's fin will be revealed above the water, their movement. So similar to like that fly guy Kai's concept where the being undetectable, but the dorsal fin is still like out of the water. I really don't agree with a flooded trial. Like at the start of the trial, the water level goes up and down. I think it should just stay at one level. Swimmers. Survivors who hold the crouch button while aquatic domain is active for 2 seconds will be able to swim through the water. Swimmers can move fast through the water but will always be detected with the killer's instinct, regardless of their distance from the great white. Swimmers can fast vault over windows and swim under pallets, but they will both be similar speed of a medium fast vault. When survivors swim, they will leave bubble trails for the great white to follow. Survivors have to hold the crouch button for 2 seconds to enter and exit swimming mode. Let's say, because I use the perk diversion, and like, I know you can just quickly like press the button to, use diversion, but I feel like instead of 2 seconds, it should probably be like, what, 5, maybe? I don't know. And then you can swim. But if you are like quote unquote walking. So this is like you slowly swimming. Then you do not make any like you don't give off any notification to the killer. Although if you are quote unquote sprinting, so you're swimming fast and splashing, that will notify the killer because in the original film, that is what notified Bruce. It was the splashing. So that's what I think. I feel like that would be really nice. These are the add-ons. These are really great add-ons, by the way. The design is amazing. Map idea, distressed beach sign. I agree with this. Ooh, we get a little um, thing here. You can also see the shark in the clouds, but that's actually really neat. Amity Island Beach. I fully agree with this. This should be a map, and like it should be the regular like island, but when like you play as a shark, it will be flooded, if that makes sense. I feel like that's really neat. Cosmetics. The great white shark. Exactly what I was saying. They were like kind of playing around with like Bruce. Wait a second. Um, Hammerhead shark. I was thinking about like, different sharks instead of like, the great white, but I mean it was mentioned like the megalodon, the hammerhead shark, the bull shark, and you have the prestige that I was talking about, but I feel like the blood should just be around the mouth. Should just be around the mouth instead of all over the body. I mean, sure, it can be all over the body, but I feel like it would be very accurate. Similar to Dracula, I feel like that'd be really neat. Um, like a specific prestiged cosmetic that's somewhat lore accurate. Then you have Brusette, um, second Jaws film. She was um, she was Bruce's mate, so bringing them in is pretty neat. Bruce, yes, this is actually really neat. Martin Brody, Matt Hooper, cosmetics. Sam Quint has a legendary scuba defender. This outfit for Matt would be really cool. Okay, visual concepts. This is something I wanted to get into, and we're gonna get into it. This size, like compared to the Survivor, I like how they did that. This is very cool, and yeah, really neat. This is okay. I'm gonna zoom in a bit. Calm state, normally walking, while swimming. Pursue state, chasing survivors. I like this idea, and this one, especially this one. This detail is insane. When a shark bites, their eyes roll back and it goes white. So if you can see here the neutral face and the attacking face, you can see the eyes change. This one's white and this one's black. I like the that detail. Aquatic domain animations. Submerged, resurfaced, fierce chomp. Attacking animation. So yeah, you can see the detail here as well. The eye is slowly rolling back, and then once the shark bites the survivor, the eye is fully rolled back, and then the eye comes back down. Really great um, detail. This is amazing. That is amazing. Holding survivors. So this is the stunned while holding um, animations, and this is the, dropping, picking up, holding, attacking while holding. Really neat. So, okay. Destruction. Gin breaking, pallet breaking, breakable, wall breaking. Searching lockers, empty, occupied. This is ramming into survivors and the lockers. They do like ram into like the boats and stuff, so that's a really neat detail. Vaulting. Breaks through vault or vaulting vaults. I don't think the breaking through vault would be like, I don't know. The um the devs would have to like go crazy on this chapter. I think just like that Fly Guy Kai's concept, going underneath the vault is most likely. Or you could just jump over the vault, like like a dolphin, or I don't know. That's a horrible idea. Going underneath the vault though, I feel like that's really nice. Hooking, picking up. Hooking is a very um tough spot to be in. A lot of people has been talking about it, but I feel like just like that Flag Guy Kai's concept in this one, just simply tossing them on there, that would be really nice. Falling animation. water cloud version or flying shark version. I think the flying shark version would be more uh, realistic instead of a water cloud. Normal killer POV. Calm state, pursue state, harming state. Should the shark be in first person? Now we did see back up the shark being able to switch into third person while submerged and coming back into first person. This is very tricky. I feel like that'd be really neat for the shark to go in first and third person. Um, Transporting survivors onto hooks will always be in third person. Yeah, submerged, resurfaced, fish chomp attacking or breaking. A lot of people have been saying third person would fit best on this killer. Um, we'll come back to this. Visual concepts, flooded trial. I feel like I was talking about this earlier. I feel like it should just stay like this during aquatic domains activation. It should just stay like um, this the entire match. It should not go up and down. Swimming transition. Yeah, so the survivor crouches, they begin swimming. They're swimming idle animation, and then here's the swimming animation. Swimmers vaulting over, under. I like this too. Dropping pallets while swimming, so you can see the survivor going over on this side, turning around, and dropping the pallet. Cannonball. Special hatch escape. This is really funny. Normal flooding, aquatic domain flooding. Generators do not get affected by the water. Why? Ask the entity. I agree with this. But the water should just be at this level. Swimmers fall animation. Agreed. I agree with this. I keep saying like the water should not go up and down. And the reason is because it wouldn't make sense for the shark. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe I'm not like thinking hard enough, but these map like the water, this is really nice. So we get to see how it would look for the maps to be flooded in like, the stairs. And they actually talk about the stairs right here. So high elevations. Platforms that have a drop will make the water stop from where it is cut off. Agreed. Stairs, walkways. This is how the water in the trial will connect from top to bottom. Levels in the map, especially for indoor ones. So you have the top level, you have the bottom level. I agree with this. Upper ground holes. Water will not flow in any holes and will simply be cut off as if there is a wall. Walls, vaults. Water will of course not go through any walls or barriers that maps will include. Agreed. They do talk about the flooded objects visuals because it may be hard to like see underwater. I also agree with this. Then we get like some images of how that would look like the shark carrying the survivor to the hook. This okay, so we're coming back to the first person and third person. So this is how it would look like for the shark to be in first person because usually all the killers that are in first person have their weapon like in the camera, so the teeth would be the weapon, but I don't know. It may be a disadvantage in this like this because it's like covering like what 20% of the screen. Um, but I guess that goes with all like um I don't know. I don't know. It's really neat though, but I don't know if people would want to play like this or they just have to get used to it. Switching back to first and third person. I think I like this though. I can see myself playing the shark like this in first person and third person. This is really cool. I agree with that. And there's something else that they okay, so this is the bonus, the old concepts and ideas. Here's the fin like in the lobby. This is really cool. I can actually like see this being in the game. So that's really neat. They did mention special wildlife concept. seagulls, and school of fishes. Now, having like AI fish in the game that makes small splashes and ripples to throw off the survivors would be really cool. I'm just saying. It would be really cool. And also the Mori, we didn't get into the Mori, did we? The Mori should be. Oh no, 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 we'll get into the Mori later. Okay. There is some other stuff we have to see, okay? And this is the video, okay? Okay, these are the video videos that this trophy made, and let's take a look at them. So this one is the Pry Open minigame showcase that they were talking about when it comes to wait, let me find it. There's like a yeah, no, 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 where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yep, attack struggle mechanic. So they were talking about like a struggle mechanic, pry open. If the survivor succeeds the pry open action before you hook them, they will escape and you will be stunned for 3 seconds. So it's like a wiggle. If the shark gets you, it's like a wiggle skill check thing. But if they succeed, then it's kind of like decisive strike, but like a mini game. I like don't I don't like agree with it, but it's pretty cool. So let's watch it. Okay, that was the first video. On to the second, the Mori Showcase. This is the one that I'm excited to see. Those are those are the sound effects that they added in. But if you did not notice the that Mori has both the first victim and Quint's death on the orca boat. I like the mixture of those two, so it's why I didn't mention the Mori in the beginning. But I like that concept. That is amazing. And there's one more thing that I do want to talk about, and that is theories. There's currently, at the time of making this video, there's two movie posters on the Greenville Square map named Whales and the Sinking Ones. This may potentially be a hint for a Jaws chapter in the future. Not to mention, these movie posters were added in recently. They also added a shark charm in 2022. This is the closest thing we have to seeing what the shark model could look like in Dead by Daylight. I just wanted to throw that in there. It was very like it threw me off seeing both like I don't know the whales movie poster. it just gives off Jaws, the aesthetic. It gives off Jaws. And then you see the sinking ones. It, you can if you will put these two posters together, it just screams Jaws. With that being said, wait, am I missing anything? We went over everything. No, I think we went over everything. Um, okay, so here's another killer concept that I briefly want to go over. It was made by Ninja Gamer 1337, and it's a Jaws concept, and the power is called Blood in the Water. At the start of the match, the map is submerged in water. Injured survivors' blood now floats in the water instead of being left on the ground. Survivors and generators now produce bubbles periodically. These bubbles are visible to the shark and other survivors. I agree with this. I like this actually. I like this. And here you can see like the generator being worked on and there's bubbles and stuff. I like this. I like the bubbles, like the water ripples and the bubble effect. I like that. It's very realistic and yeah. So that being said, thank you for watching. Um, Let me know what you think about this entire Jaws concept. Let me know what you think about that Fly Guys concept, Ninja Gamer 1337, and Trophies concept. And in the comments, if you have an idea for the Jaws chapter, I'd love to see what you guys come up with. I like reading like concepts. This was a very fun video to make. Anyways, with that being said, see you. Thank you, and I'm out of here. We're gonna need a bigger boat. We're gonna need a bigger